Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to our bonus episode. Our bonus episode that we're very excited about. We're taping it a different day. We're taping it on Holy Jesus Sunday. I want to say Holy Jugs, and then I looked at your shirt, and then I thought of Tamara as well.
Jesus jugs.
And then speaking of Tamara, repping her little CBD giveaways that she was doing at BravoCon. Um, yeah, we and then you're wearing your. Tell us about your shirt, Melanie.
I'll tell you how I'm feeling. Or I'll tell you how I'm doing. Not well, bitch. This is in the words of the great Dorinda Medley from New York Housewives.
And because it is Jesus Sunday, like I said, that we're taping this, and it is the afternoon. Usually I have a cocktail, but I promise it's water. Can't drink a cocktail at this time on a Sunday.
It's 5 o'clock
It's
somewhere.
water. Nah, but not no 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 not right now. But we'll pretend it's a good wine, one of the many wines, Skinny Girl Margarita or something. But we have special guests. We have this bonus episode we're excited about, and we have special guests. He has his podcast and his page, and we've been excited. It's been brewing, and we've been wanting him on the show for a while to talk all things Housewives and Bravo. He has, like I said, his podcast Housewives Happy Hour. You could also find him on Instagram, all things Housewives. He comes with the news. He comes with funny memes and everything.
It was
Let's
the
welcome.
moment in BravoCon.
And he was the moment a la Kenya Moore. You're right. At BravoCon, we're definitely gonna get into this now. Let's welcome AJ. Hello, AJ. Welcome.
Hi, Charlie. Hi, Melanie.
How are
Hello.
you?
Thanks for having me. I'm great. How are you guys?
We are awesome. We're excited to have you.
I'm excited to be here. And wow, what an introduction.
I try. So AJ, like I said, you have your own podcast. You also have a page, Housewives Happy Hour. You we This is our first time meeting, but I seen you at BravoCon. We were at BravoCon as well.
Mhm.
You were there the whole weekend. You're from actually, and I told Melanie this. I was surprised to find this out. You're actually from California. You're all the way to the West Coast.
Yeah, I traveled a long way to be at BravoCon, but it was 100% worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about yourself. You're originally from the West Coast, right?
Right,
And
yes.
yeah, go ahead.
Well, I kind of grew up in like the Bay Area, kind of near San Francisco. And I guess I would say, I mean, my love for Housewives only started a few years ago. When I was in school, I was just kind of like bored, and everyone had always told me, you should watch the Real Housewives. And I'm like, I'm kind of like a need to start at the beginning kind of guy. And so I was like, this is going to be a huge commitment. So I started watching, I believe my first one was Orange County. And I just watched like I think at the time it was 15 seasons. And just, I was hooked from there. And then I just started going through all the different franchises.
Oh, nice. Wow. Funny enough that yours is Orange County. Which one was yours, Melanie? Your first Housewives?
My first one was Orange County also.
I
Yeah,
thought
because
so.
I had a big crush on what's her name? Jenna Keogh's son. He was
Oh,
such an
Oh,
Shane.
Shane. He was such a
man.
tool and such a douche, but I thought he was so cute. And so I first started watching Orange County. But it wasn't
That's
my favorite.
crazy.
But yes.
You know what? And I'll admit this. I haven't. I tried to do it like the beginning thing too. I just couldn't get into it. I did see maybe like a few episodes and tuned into the reunion that season where it started becoming toxic with Kelly Dodd coming on and
Oh,
such.
yes.
That's when I got like, I'm like, okay, I was a little intrigued. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. But then I fell off again. Like, it didn't last long, watching it. I don't know. But my first, if we're supposed to talk about first Housewives experience, my first was Jersey.
Oh, that's a good one to
Teresa.
start at.
Yeah, that's the one that sucked me into this like rabbit hole that is Bravo and Housewives, and it was Jersey. It was that I remember watching a commercial, and it was like that whole table flip clip, and I'm like, who is that crazy bitch? And I had to find out, so I started watching, and then I finally reached that episode, and I was sucked in since, and then after that, I think it was Atlanta, and then it all went from. But yeah, so let's get to know you a little bit. Let's go through a quick speed round of questions. Bella, do you have, if you feel free to answer some questions as well here. We want to get to know you real quick. So we have some questions so the people, the viewers could find out, like, I guess, where you at Bravo wise. So let's start.
Fun.
Favorite Housewives franchise?
It fluctuates, I would say, between Beverly Hills and Jersey, actually. Jersey is usually normally at the top, but then when Beverly Hills is airing, it's like that's my number one priority.
Favorite non-Housewives show?
Favorite non-Housewives show? Probably Vanderpump Rules. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Vanderpump Rules.
Least favorite housewife
Of all time?
of all time?
Like someone that I hate watching or like love to hate or
Someone you
Get-
don't like and you would never want to have them back on. For me, I'll tell you for me example.
Okay.
Amber Marchese and her whole family, they can go kick rocks
oh yeah, oh my god, they're
from
horrible.
Jersey.
I mean, for me, it's probably I was gonna say Danielle Staub from Jersey, but also like I actually think she's very iconic. So I'm gonna
Yeah.
skip that. I'm gonna say Carlton from like the one season of Beverly Hills. I just couldn't stand her.
The pagan witch.
The
one
pagan,
who
and I
gave
have
Kyle.
no disrespect. Like no disrespect to pagans. I think they're super cool, but I was like, this lady is not born to be on reality TV. It's not it.
Yeah. Yeah. she's
Your
nice.
the rudest Bravo lab you encountered during BravoCon?
Okay, so she wasn't necessarily rude, but she wasn't necessarily friendly, and I wasn't expecting it. It's Captain Sandy from Below Deck Med.
I heard she's a
Um,
bitch.
And
Yeah.
yeah, like I
Well,
have heard that.
not to bring anyone's sexuality in it, but isn't she, Melanie? Is she
She's a lesbian.
okay? Well, you
But
know,
that's not an excuse to be a bitch.
you know,
But
sometimes they could be cranky. Not all of them. We're not gonna stereotype here. Sorry, girls. I love y'all, but some are known to be cranky. So there you go.
I've never heard that, but that's hilarious.
Especially the older ones, the older generation. But
Yeah,
okay,
she was just like, yeah. I mean, we don't have to talk about it forever, but she was just like very short, and I wasn't expecting that. Like I had said, I was very nice to everybody over the weekend. I was like, oh, it's
Yeah.
so nice to meet you. It's so great that you're here. And she was just like, yeah, thank you. And like that was it. Like there was
Oof.
no, and this was in the Bravo Palooza room, so it was like where we're
Oh,
supposed to mingle and talk with
yeah,
them, and
yeah.
everybody else was so nice in that room besides her, to be honest.
That
Let me see
was
what
money,
horoscope
money.
she
They better
is.
be nice. And with that being said, nice. Who was the nicest Bravo led you encountered at BravoCon that weekend?
Nicest. It would probably have to be a tie between Candace from Potomac, which
Oh
I was
wow.
actually surprised by because I wasn't a Candace fan going into the weekend,
Drive
um,
back.
or the new Captain and new Stu from the new Below Deck Adventure. They were
Captain
just
Carrie
Captain
and Faye.
Carrie and then
Mhm.
Oriana, and she's like the one of the Stews. I still message them today. Like they were so nice at BravoCon to me, and I don't know. They made the whole experience better because I don't
Yeah.
think everybody really knew who they were yet.
Mhm.
So it was nice to get to talk to them for a little bit.
Yeah,
Well,
I was watching Below Deck Adventure like 2 days ago, and right now Oriana doesn't have like the best light. Like she's kind of
No,
like not, yeah, she's not getting like fan favorite. But Captain Carrie, he seems nice. I like him.
he's
He's
very
just,
nice,
yeah,
and
I like his accent.
yeah, and he's very nice in person. And
Mhm.
what I will say about the new Below Deck Adventure, without being too shady, because I've been talking about this with
I don't
Oriana.
really care for it.
I mean I like it, but I can't stand that other Stu. I think her name is Casey,
Oh yeah, the one
with
that
the
has the
fake
fake
accent.
accent.
I
Yes,
can't do
she's
it.
like, I might be British, but my family's from America, but we live in Costa Rica. Where's your accent from? She's like, I'm a nomad.
Like, girl,
Yeah,
you're
she's
from
all over
Seattle, okay? Calm down.
yeah, she's all over the place.
two more questions for you. Worst Housewives franchise?
Oh, worst. Um. Oh.
I could tell you.
Well, okay.
DC.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say. I mean DC because it got canceled, right? But
Hmm.
I mean, at the moment, like the bottom of my list right now is probably I'm not really excited for New York, and I would say I used to be really excited for New York, and I'm just not right
And
now.
we'll get into that
So
in a little bit. We'll get into that
okay.
in a little bit. And if you could bring back one housewife from any franchise, who would it be?
Okay, so I toss up again. I'm sorry. I want Vicky back on OC. I feel like OC needs Vicky again
You're gonna get her back into in some capacity. So there you go.
in some capacity. But then I'd also, I don't think I would ever say this before because I got so annoyed with her towards the end. I really want Vanderpump back on Beverly Hills. I don't know what they have to
Me
do.
too.
Yeah, I feel like the time has come. It's been kind of a pause, and I would love to have her back on Beverly Hills.
I
I
agree.
agree. I agree. And especially if they're gonna keep, and we'll talk about Beverly Hills too. Especially if they're gonna keep Brenna, I would love a good HBIC to come to like bring her down. But anyways, we'll get into that in a little bit. Well, let's talk about your podcast. What made you start your page and your podcast? Like I know you said you became, just a few years ago housewives. But what made you just like start the whole thing? What was your inspiration?
I think I'd always wanted to start a podcast just because I always liked listening to podcasts. I thought it was a cool way to be in the car and listen to, interviews and whatever. But I would say COVID, like the pandemic. I was so
Mm-hmm.
bored and I was watching Housewives and I felt like I was a little, like the stuff that was airing during COVID wasn't that good. And I wanted to kind of talk about it with like my friends and stuff. And so I figured, let's start a podcast. I mean, I started and I had like, 10 listeners. Like it wasn't a big deal. And now it's just growing and growing. And it's like a little, it's crazy to think, I mean, I'm almost 3 years in, but yeah, I think just boredom, but that I've always wanted to start a podcast.
And for you, what keeps you going? Because you said you started at COVID and you started with 10 people. And I love those stories where it's like you start small, but like, hey, you grow and you keep going and putting it in. Like, what kept you going? Like 10 listeners, what kept you motivated to continue and push?
Even if I had 10 listeners and like let's say one of them was like, because my parents don't even listen, they don't watch Housewives, so they don't know. Um, if I had like 10 listeners and I had one person come up to me saying like, I just listened to your podcast and I totally agree with you, I disagree with you, whatever, that was what I loved. I loved hearing the first sentence that came out of their mouth was, I listened to your podcast. That to me was like, wow, thank you for taking the time to listen. And now I have, all these people that listen, and it's crazy to think because I still feel like I'm sitting in my room recording and no one's listening, but really there's like, I mean, I check my thing and I'm like, oh my God, 500 people already listened. Like, that's just crazy to me, I
That's
don't know.
awesome.
So that keeps me going, I think.
Keep it going, man. Like I told Melanie, and even you prior to the show, like on this podcast necessarily doesn't. We just don't focus on housewives entirely. We
Mhm.
we pop culture fanatics, so we like to like delve into a lot of different things. But it's just a world. There's a world for it. You know what I mean? There's an audience for housewives and Bravo in general as a brand and channel. With that being said, we discussed BravoCon. You was at BravoCon. You was there the whole weekend. You came all the way from the West Coast. Again, that goes to show like there is the audience for this. Exactly. A freaking BravoCon. Like, there's Comic Con and all that stuff, but BravoCon. How was that experience? Like, how was that weekend for you?
BravoCon was literally unreal because see, I talk to people who like Housewives. I have clients at work, coworkers. I have stuff that like, I talk about with people, but being in a room full of all these people who are just as obsessed with Bravo as you are, it's like this surreal feeling. It was kind of like being at Disneyland, but for Housewives. And I mean, like when you go to Disneyland, you don't see anybody that's like, doesn't like Disney. I mean, so I don't know. I think that I had just the most incredible time despite a few flaws in the process. It was just
Yeah.
amazing. And of course I would go back. I definitely would.
I definitely think that there were a couple of opportunities that like Bravo missed the mark with the whole convention center and stuff. But I feel next year, hopefully they fix those things because it can make or break the decision of going back. Like I was telling Charlie, we only went for one day. I would definitely go back, but I wouldn't go on a Sunday because I felt like
Mm.
literally everyone left on Sunday, and we only went to panels, and it took basically most of the day. And as soon as people were like done with their panel, they would just leave. So I didn't get that experience where you got to like see people and talk to them and walk around. So yeah, there were a couple of flaws. I'm sure you know way more flaws than I experienced, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was keeping like a list of all the things, and like when they Bravo had sent us like an email saying what were your takeaways and everything, and I was like really detailed, and I listen, I had a great experience, but yeah, there was issues. I mean, there was lots of things I wanted to do that I didn't get to do, and as a
Mhm.
Housewife fan, I had to start picking through who I wanted to meet, which panel I wanted to go to, and I actually on Sunday I kind of figured it out like what I wanted to do,
Yeah.
and it ended up Sunday actually for me was my best day because Friday and Saturday were just a little overwhelming and chaotic. But
Really?
yeah, I mean, they were just Saturday. I heard that there was over 10,000 people that were there.
Yeah, I heard
And
Saturday
as
was crazy.
yeah, like, and as big of a convention center it was still just, I mean, if somebody, like, I have a little bit of a crowd anxiety. And so I did get a little anxious at certain points just because, I mean, first day there was stampedes. I was worried for the second day that something like that was going to happen again. And, but yeah, I mean, you kind of had to figure out what you wanted to do. Like, it was like either take a picture with Dorinda or go watch the Miami panel or whatever, you had to pick
Yeah.
certain things. So that's what I had to do.
I think it was poorly timed too. Like a lot of overlap, which
Very.
was kind of annoying.
Yeah,
So
yeah, that's true. That's true with the timing and the overlap. But it's funny how we're hearing about all these numbers, especially Saturday, because even I think we met someone who said Saturday, also from the West Coast, um, that said that Saturday was crazy. But I'm also hearing that maybe there won't be a BravoCon next year because the cost, which you said this before when we've talked about DragCon, Melanie, the cost of the Javits Center. And from what I hear, these are just, word on the street, maybe Mama Joyce's block, the cost and some sponsors weren't happy, some things I'm reading in the blog. So I don't know how true it is, but we'll see because I would like to experience it again. But at the same time, it's surprising to hear these rumors when we're hearing about all these people that showed up. And I mean, those prices too. Like,
I have a
Yeah,
question.
I mean,
Hey, AJ, since you're from California, did you prefer it being here on the East Coast, or would you prefer BravoCon to be on the West Coast?
well, now that I hear you saying that about how the Javits Center is really expensive and everything, I'm trying to think like why wouldn't it be better if they did it in like Las Vegas? Like that's where a lot of convention centers are hold, or even
oh,
LA.
good
I mean,
idea.
that's like where there's like bigger convention centers there. I mean, New York is a really expensive state, and
Mm,
Yeah.
Manhattan is that whole area is really so. I think to me, I would go back wherever it is. I mean, as long as it's in the U.S. I mean, if it's international, then that would be, but as long as it's in the US and it's in a good city with lots of hotel options, lots of travel accommodations, I'll be there. But
Hmm.
I definitely think that if they do it again, they should probably pick a different city because I feel like a lot of people I met were all East Coast and there weren't a lot of West Coast people there from my
We met a few
experience.
West Coast people.
yeah, it's funny. We met a few West Coast people. We met even Florida people, like
Hmm.
all the way from
Oh
Florida.
yeah,
So
okay.
it was great. It was kind of cool to like, okay, like it's people flying here, like and staying in hotels. It's like, wow, this is crazy. People are shelling out money for this, and like I said, there's an audience out there for this. But speaking of stampedes and craziness, because I'm sure you're referring to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills panel. What were your thoughts on this past season? Because boy, was there a lot. Like, what was your thoughts with this past season of Beverly Hills?
Well, I've had some time to like reflect on this and I feel like I've mentioned it a little bit on my podcast, but I listen, I enjoyed the season as a whole, and um, I it was a lot. I mean, we're watching it, and it was like I felt like it was like the longest season ever because it was like I think 24 episodes, which is
Yes.
that's really long. Um, but I think it was just a heavy season, and I missed that fun. I've been posting some clips on my Instagram of like the fun times that we've had on Beverly Hills, and I miss a little bit of that fun. But then it's also
Hmm.
like, I mean, this is like the highest rated season to date of like a Housewives
Yeah.
franchise, which is really kind of incredible accomplishment. So I don't know. I thought the season as a whole was great, but it was just very draining.
Mm.
I will never understand why Beverly Hills gets like 24 episodes
I know
and
you're
New
listening.
Jersey gets 13 or
Crappy
8
13,
episodes.
14 episodes. Yep, I agree.
Well, I can tell you guys just from research on my part, I've seen, I mean, I know the husbands are a lot more involved on Jersey, which I believe they do get paid
I
to a
heard
certain,
that.
yeah. So
They
I think,
do?
yeah, so I think it is a little bit more expensive to make that show just because they do pay more crew members and cast.
They're the only
so-
franchise that I guess pays the husbands. And I also heard production companies have to do with it. Beverly Hills, of course, has a different production company than Jersey does too. But I think a big factor is, like you said, AJ, is that they do pay the husbands as well over there. But
Right.
now, as you said, it was very dark. And depending on the people, we don't want, the fandom is crazy out there. We don't want to get people cursing us out, talk about this. But what are your thoughts on Lisa Rinna? And do you think she should be put on pause?
Okay, so I go 50-50 with this, but I will say I'm leaning more towards, I think that a pause for Rinna would be just the thing she needs and probably just the thing that the audience needs, because I reached that point with Dorinda too, and I know that's different situations, but I was like shocked that they put Dorinda on pause, but once I thought about it, I was like, it kind of needed to happen at that point in the show that they were at, but then New York went on pause. So I think Rinna, a pause would be great for her, but she is also like a major reason why the last season was really interesting, because we were all watching to see what she was going to do. And so
Right.
I think she's a great cast member in a sense, but it would be nice to have a break from her for a little bit. I mean,
no, I agree. Melanie, what do you?
I think that, when you have like a amuse bouche, when you're like eating something and you need to like cleanse your palate, we need to cleanse our palates from Lisa Rinna, because I feel like anything that happens that has nothing to do with Lisa Rinna, even if she's involved in the scene, people are going to blame her for it. Granted, she has given us great TV. The whole thing with like saying Kim was on the brink of dying, Kim Richards, that like I loved her instantly because of that, because I was like, wow, she is such an actress. Her and what's her name? Eileen. When her and Eileen were like together, I really liked them. They reminded me of like.
You see, I liked her back then a little bit. I liked, she was more enjoyable back then with Eileen when she first came on the scene. Like, I agree, Melanie. And it's just, but that's why I agree also, AJ, to add, she needs to be put on pause, because it's been the last, like, what, 5-6 seasons? I'm not even exaggerating. Like, let's go back where she's dark and bringing someone down or being, I think it started with the season with Yolanda.
Right.
Well, I think she started becoming very nasty and bringing people down and just being very nasty and below the belt with some of the things that she just tried to attack people on. And then it's like, come reunion is like a mi culpa thing. I'm sorry, I'm going to be a better person. Like you said, the actress comes out, that damn tear. That's going to be iconic because that's such an actress moment. That Bunny in the freaking the one tear. But and then it's like, I'm sorry, but then it goes, the season starts, she's kind of okay at the beginning, and then she becomes a bitch. It's becoming tiresome. So like you said, Ada, we're tired of it because it's been like that the last few seasons.
I just think we need to like miss her for a little bit. Like,
yes.
Let's miss her.
Right.
She can come back and do like a resurgence. Like, yes. you know who has been perfect at that? Bethany Frankel. Bethany has done and said some crazy things, and then she leaves, comes back, and then everyone's like praising the gods that she's back. And I think that Lisa's not a bad person. Like, I like her as a housewife. I just need a break. And I think she needs to mourn the loss of her mom. I think she was really upset that that Bravo didn't like really make a big, huge tribute of her mom, like passing away. So, I mean, yes, it sucks, but your mom wasn't a housewife. She did play a role, but I don't know. I just think she needs a break.
I thought they did a great job, by the way, of highlighting Lois and her. I don't know what else they could have done. I mean, did they want like a whole episode of family videos? Like, it's not the Lisa Rinna show.
Exactly. She's just messy all over. She's a little unhinged all over her social media when it comes to a lot of different things. So,
Yeah.
her getting on the Dubai girls out of nowhere. Like, speaking of Dubai, real quick, what did you think of Dubai?
Like Dubai, it was good. I mean, it wasn't my favorite
Yeah.
franchise right now. I mean, like the first season, I feel like of a new show should be very it I mean, unlike, Salt Lake City had a great first season, but
Mhm.
Dubai, like they had a good first season, but we almost need to sit with the ladies a little bit more. We need those relationships to forge for us to really decide if we really like it. I do think it was good, and I would like to see another season, but it wasn't like my favorite first season of a Housewives franchise.
In
Mhm.
your opinion on the instant, like, HBIC star of that cast?
Who?
Uh,
Caroline Stanberry?
Stanbury.
No, no, asking him, like, who was your first, your standout star of the show, HBIC? The one, there's always that one that then becomes like you know,
Oh, like across any franchise or?
no, sorry, I'm confusing the question. Basically asking who was the breakout star for you of this show? Who do you think is a breakout star
Of
Oh, from
Dubai?
of
Dubai.
Dubai? Yes, Dubai.
So hands down Ion. I mean, like she screamed Housewives energy as soon as, and like the first episode, I was like, oh my god, who is this? Like, I don't even. This is gonna get annoying. And then the second episode, and it just kept going on, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she is Housewives. So
Yeah,
breakout
I
star for me was
agree.
She
Ion.
studied it. She literally
I
studied it.
agree
I
for
think
real.
one thing that I didn't like about this, I like Dubai. I wanted to give it a chance. I just didn't like that they were like basically riding off of Caroline Stanberry's like coattails and like
Mhm.
making her be like the top HBIC basically. Just because she was in Ladies of London. I don't even think her storyline was that great. So we shall see
Mhm.
next season.
Yeah, we definitely shall see. Now, what about? I know you said you're not that excited about the Roni reboot. Now we also have this whole Roni legacy thing. I'm very torn too because it's like it didn't need a. How is OC still going with the horrible seasons that OC has had? New York has one bad season and this happens. What are your whole entire thoughts with that? I know you said you're not that happy. Like, tell us. Like, give us your thoughts.
Well, I'm not that happy only because like New York was so good. I mean, I was talking to a client the other day who was like, I just rewatched season 11 and 12 of Roni and it was and I'm like, that's right before Bethany left. And I
Hmm.
was like, that was when Bethany came back on the show after her break, that was like, in my opinion, when the show was in its prime. And
Yeah.
it started to go downhill, and then I think the COVID season was like the last season that they had, that one was obviously not that good. But to me, you know getting rid of all these ladies and then starting over with two new shows, where I feel like the Legacy show, and I'm not going to judge it because I haven't seen it yet, but I feel like the Legacy show is kind of going to be like a girls trip ish type show,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm not really there for that. Like, I don't think that that's really that interesting.
Hmm.
But and I'm willing to give these new ladies a shot because everyone loves new blood. Everyone likes to see new ladies coming into a mix or a different city. So I'm willing to give them a shot. But the whole idea of the legacy thing, and not just because like certain cast members are being left out of it, but just it just doesn't seem that interesting to me anymore. But I mean, we'll have to wait and see if it's good, and then I can judge it.
Well, I personally feel some type of way about this because Roni is my hands down favorite franchise of all time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw OC, but when I saw Roni, I was like glued to the TV screen. And I
Hmm.
still to this day watch like reruns on Peacock when I'm bored and don't know what to watch. But I just feel like the whole legacy thing, it gives me like the vibe that it's going to be a show like where it's more comedic and it shows more Luann and Sonia acting a fool rather than actually like bringing it to like New York classiness how they used to be.
Like, we've
And
seen
then
it before. It doesn't
yeah,
feel original to me. That's why I don't know.
and I don't know how it's gonna be because apparently Luann and Sonia have their own like spin-off show
Yes.
somewhere
Hmm.
else.
They have a spin-off show that they filmed somewhere in the south. They're like dubbing it as like
The Simple Life.
The Simple Life Paris and Nicolia style
Wow.
type. So just with two older, with your aunties.
This
Okay.
new cast, the new cast of New York. I don't know if you. I'm sure you've heard about Lee. What's her name? Lizzie.
Lizzie
being like,
Savetsky.
yeah, being removed. That's insane. That's dramatic already. I don't know. I'm excited to see it, but I'm also like holding my breath. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm holding my breath.
Your thoughts on the Real Housewives of Potomac this season so far?
Potomac is doing great. I didn't expect. I mean, after BravoCon, like I said with Candace, I was never really a big Candace fan, and after I met her and seeing how sweet she was in person, I'm such a Candace stan now,
Mm.
and so I'm really kind of like I'm. And I used to like Giselle and Robin, but damn, they're like stirring the pot this year, and I just wasn't
Mhm.
expecting that, or maybe I just
Especially
never
from
noticed it
Robin, but
before.
Robin needs to though.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Candace is right. Like they're kind of searching for a storyline a bit, and that's going to happen. I mean, they've all been on for. I mean, Giselle and Robin have been on for 7 seasons now, so they need something, right, to keep the show going. But also, like, why are we picking on Chris? Like, did he
Yeah.
do it? Did I miss something? Like,
I don't get it. I think that I I could understand if Giselle felt a way about Chris talking to her while he's under the influence drunk or whatever, but
hmm
they're stretching it. It's a reach. But
Hmm.
hmm
yeah. I found myself saying the other day, wow, I can't believe I really like Candace now. And that's crazy.
yeah,
Do you want me to admit something too? I'm not saying I like her, but her energy this season, it is way different. And I don't know. I can't say I like her, but I know exactly what you mean, Melanie. It's just like, I couldn't stand her. Like even
Yeah,
like there's some
he was Team
housewives
Monique all
I
me
still
too.
am. I still am in that sense. You did like you asked to be dragged. You taunted into certain things. You got it. But moving forward, whatever. I agree, Melanie. I find myself like watching her, like you know what? I don't mind her, and kind of like, yo, they're kind of
wow.
reaching and like this is fucked up what they're doing to her. Like, so I like it's funny. It's weird. It's crazy that you said it, AJ. Then Melanie said it's like, okay, Candace, she's bringing a different energy, and and
She
and that's
is.
good for her. Good for her. Good for her. I like that, and a good housewife redemption story because Melanie knows there's some housewives I can't stand. I've been blocked by a
Yeah.
few.
Hey, I'm blocked by Rinna, so I have no like shame in the game now. Like,
What?
But I try not to do it
What?
anymore. I've been blocked personally. We want to ask, well, she went, I don't think it's personal for you, AJ, because supposedly she blocked a lot of
yeah.
housewife pages, I heard, right?
I
Is
mean,
that
frankly,
correct?
it's an honor, right? Because I was like,
Yeah.
wow, my little tiny Housewives Happy Hour page got blocked by by Rinna, and it's like, yeah, I mean, whatever.
How
Yeah, I
rude.
heard that she like blocked a bunch of housewife pages. But it's funny
Yeah.
because I know I try not to because again, now having this platform and stuff, but on my personal page I've gotten blocked. That's what I mean, not the inner circle page.
hmm
Because
Trolling.
not having this no, now having this platform, I'm not gonna be, I'm not trying to get blocked and trying to make connections. We're trying to make connections
Right.
here, network. We're not trying to think. So even on my personal page, I'm like Zen and don't try to like comment and say something smart. But I have to Lisa and she still hasn't blocked me yet.
Well, you're
So it's
lucky.
like no, based on my personal page. So I think she's blocking like housewife like and like housewife pages. From what I
Right.
read as well, like I heard from a bunch of other Bravo accounts that she's blocking a bunch of them. But
Well,
anyways, go ahead.
I was gonna say I have two unpopular opinions about Salt Lake City.
Oh,
Oh,
please tell me.
thank you, Melanie. I was just gonna ask. Listen. We're right here. Go ahead. Usher it in because that was the next topic.
This is a common. This is something that me and Charlie are both in agreement. Hopefully, you are too.
Okay.
Unpopular opinion number one: we want Mary M. Cosby back.
I didn't know you
Def-
wanted her back too. Oh my god,
yeah,
that
I
makes me
do.
so happy. It warms my heart.
I need her back with her little mannerisms and her
Maryisms. I
yeah.
call it Maryisms.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
that's
after
number. Go
I would,
ahead.
I mean, just real quick, after this season, yes, I agree with you guys.
Go,
Exactly.
go. And your
And
number two is
the second one is that this season has been so stale for me. It is horrible. The whole purpose and premise, everything should be centered around Jen Shaw and her whole situation. The same way everything was centered around Erica Jane and her situation with the law. And I feel like collectively the housewives of Salt Lake are trying not to like speak about Jen's situation just to be her friend, and they're basically coming up with bogus claims of who slept with who, making Lisa look like the big bad wolf. Meredith has shifted for me. I thought she was smart, the voice of reason, and now she's becoming a gossip folk. Whitney Rose's voice, I cannot, when I tell you I cannot listen, it pierces my ears. I cannot listen to that little girl. I
Little
cannot.
girl.
Her voice makes me not want to listen. Like when she starts talking, I take the remote and lower the volume. That's just my unpopular opinion.
And people have been making fun of the way that she like like pronounces certain words. Yeah, like like what did you just say? Like the
heel.
Yeah, yeah, like
healing.
just some certain like hilling or instead of healing, or like they make fun of the way she's like. And it's funny because I like last season was a totally different story for me. I loved last season, but I agree with you.
God, yeah. Last season was so good.
Like, I mean, and okay, so granted, Jen Shah did plead guilty after the season was like pretty much over.
It was over. Yeah, it was over.
Yeah, so they're definitely going to touch on it at the reunion. I mean, it's going to be like the major topic at the reunion, I'm sure. But this season so far is, it's just all this, like, it's like a show off the camera that like we, like with Beverly Hills, like a whole other show that happened, when the cameras weren't rolling. It's like, I don't care, like I'm not invested in who slept with who. I agree with you.
I think that the storylines are so far out and like stretched out. Like Whitney,
I understand. Trying to be a Mormon singer choir thing. Like
that's
or
this choir thing.
Being abused, but doesn't know who abused her or how she was abused. It's like,
and it seems like forced drama. Some of it seems just so forced, like reaching for it. And now Whitney all of a sudden doesn't feel supported by Heather. Like it just feels forced, like very forced. Like they don't have nothing else, so now it's forced. I don't know. Like, and again, they don't want to go against Jen or for whatever reason. So it's like they're not talking about that. So it's like all this forced dumb drama. And I don't know. And then the new girls, what do you think real quick? So we can move on. I want to ask you one more thing about Ultimate Girls Trip and then end it with a quick game that Melanie has. Okay. But I lost what I was asking about.
Salt Lake City new girls.
So what do you think about the new girls?
Well, the other Angie, not the blonde one, and then I think her name's Dana. So far, those girls I like. I cannot stand Angie H. And I thought I was gonna like her going in, and I literally cannot stand her. Yeah, Angie Harrington.
But I think actually she's bringing a little more than at least the other two, even if it's dramatic and her corny husband. But
she's thirsty. That's the word. I mean,
sometimes you need a thirsty housewife to shake things
actually,
up.
Good point.
It's boring right now.
I think she just, to me, she's because she was on last year and then now she's on again this year as a friend. I think it's like, to me, it's almost too thirsty. Yeah. But to your point, I get that. I like respect. I get that if she's trying to like shoot her shot and make the season interesting, then I get that.
Yeah, because so far it's lackluster. But we'll see what happens. I mean, the mid-season trailer came out. That's also seemed lackluster, and the way they try to build the whole black eye thing, like Whitney or someone came and clocked Heather. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Now, real quick, your thoughts on the upcoming Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip, which we thought it was going to be announced at BravoCon, or maybe it was and we didn't hear, but we thought it was going to be announced, but it wasn't. What are your thoughts with the upcoming cast? And are you excited for it?
Yes, I am excited. Dave Quinn was the moderator for that panel, and he said that it was coming early 2023. Like there was no specific date. But I'm so excited. The trailer was, and it's like it hasn't circulated on social media yet because they didn't really post it anywhere. But it was insane. Like I was like, oh my gosh, I can't wait. They did, yeah.
Oh, so so they did show the trailer.
Why no one posted?
I think
that's crazy.
I think I might have posted it, but it was like this, like it was like a shaky recording of it because I was like, crapping my pants because I was so excited that they were even showing it. But yeah, it didn't really circulate because it's not really online. Like it was kind of like a BravoCon exclusive. And it looked intense. I mean, I wasn't expecting that group of ladies to bring it, but I think they're going to bring it, you guys.
Do we know why
Wow.
Tinsley like decided not to be on?
No, wait. Oh, because Tinsley was rumored to be one of the people to be on this cast.
Oh, yeah. I think she dropped out last minute due to something. I think she was like, it was like a scheduling conflict or something. And so they had brought in Portia real quick.
Going on?
I know, and I'm like, girl, like when Bravo calls, you answer.
Well, I'm glad they brought Portia back because I need her in my screenings to come some capacity. I was excited when I heard the rumors of her possibly coming back this season, but she's not because I'm hearing she wanted a big paycheck. But I'm also hearing Bravo because Candy's paid. There's certain people that are paid so much right now. Like they say, when there's like certain people making that much, they couldn't meet her demands, but they do want Portia back from what we're hearing, right? Like they do want her back. Obviously, they have her on this trip, but she was asking for a lot, which I don't blame her. If she was back this season, they would have been documenting her whole wedding. She's right now doing her bachelorette party, which we could see for free on Instagram, I guess. So, I mean, she would have been documenting this for this season. So she would have been bringing a storyline. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. She wants her money. She wants to get paid. Pay her and bring her back for season 16. Because this is the thing. Real Housewives of Atlanta this past season, it was a light season. It was like maybe what we missed about Beverly Hills. But at the same time, to me, I felt like something was missing. And I feel it's like that Nene-esque Portia energy. But we know Nene, we definitely got to get Portia before we ever get Nene. But we know you're a busy guy. It's Jesus Sunday. And we got to get out of here, but we're going to end it with a game.
Okay.
Melanie has a game. We calling it Whose Tagline Is It Anyways? Melanie's going to read out different taglines from different housewives all across the franchises. And you, my friend, you have to guess. So we're putting your housewife fandom to the test here, okay? No pressure. No pressure.
Is it multiple choice?
They're not multiple choice. I can make them multiple choice.
No, it's okay. Let's see how hard it is, and then I can.
They're actually pretty easy. Okay. I mean, for me, because I have the answer. Okay, the first one. I'm a Jersey girl. No one can knock me down.
Oh, that's Teresa.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. In Beverly Hills, it's who you know, and I know everyone.
Okay, that's Vanderpump.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. I'm not about the drama, so don't start none, won't be none.
I'm not about the drama. Don't start none.
Oh, I know that one.
Okay, so I want to say it's somebody from. Is it
where?
somebody from Atlanta?
Yes.
Okay, can you throw me like 3 names?
Portia, Phaedra, Candy.
Oh, it's Candy. Yeah, for sure.
Good. Now this one. I am not a housewife, but I am real.
Oh my God, that's such a stupid tagline. But I can hear them saying that. Who is that?
It's someone from New York.
Oh my gosh, wait. I was totally thinking it was somebody from Beverly Hills. Okay, wait. Melanie, can you give me a multiple choice again?
Carol, Dorinda, or Bethany?
Okay, it's not Bethany. Is it Carol?
It's Bethany.
Wait, really? She said that?
She said that in like her second or third.
Early season.
Early season, second season.
That's a horrible.
It sounds very early season type of tagline when it was short and stupid.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say that's horrible.
Another one is everything's got to be huge, large, and grand. This is super old.
Okay, it's OC something.
Yes.
And I want to say is that Vicky?
Yes, it's Vicky.
Yes.
All right, two more. Give them Melanie. 2 more.
Also, after we're done with this, I just want to share with you guys my favorite tagline of all time. Just I want to put it out there.
Diamonds aren't a girl's best friend. Martinis are.
Oh, wait, is this? No, is that from New York?
Yes, it's from New York.
Okay, is that Dorinda?
Yep, it's Dorinda.
And the yes.
One more.
Okay.
You're either gonna love me or hate me. There is no in between with me.
You're either gonna love me or hate me. There's no in between. Is this a Beverly Hills one?
No, it's a Jersey one.
Oh, Jersey.
Oh, I know who that one is.
You don't like
Okay.
her.
I was gonna say this
mind.
is Danielle, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Danielle
yeah.
Staub.
Oh, he doesn't like. I'm like, oh wait, I don't mind Danielle. All right, so now we have to ask you your favorite tagline ever. Give it to us.
I just wanted to share it because I love it. Okay. I don't know if you guys want to guess it. Should I say who it is or should I just say it?
Say it.
Say it, and I'll tell. And
Okay.
I'll guess.
You can guess it. You can stab me in the back, but whilst you're there, kiss my ass.
Oh my God!
Lisa
Wait.
Vanderpump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is my all-time favorite.
When she says "whilst you're there," she says it's so
Yeah,
dramatic.
I know you can say it in a. I was going to say it in a British accent, but so that'll give it away.
That is awesome. Well, listen, AJ, thank you so much for stopping by. We've been looking forward to a type of episode with a fellow housewife fanatic, Bravo-holic like us. So thank you so much for taking time from your busy Sunday and joining us for our bonus episode, All Things Housewives. Where could the people find you really quick? Your social medias, podcasts, let them know.
Well, anytime. Thanks you guys for having me. And you can find me at Housewives Happy Hour on Instagram. And then, yeah, all my links are on my Instagram. So if you're not on Instagram, then you're missing out.
Yes, get on Instagram. Same thing with us. We on Instagram at the Inner Circle. IG, just like you see on your ticker. Well, if you're listening to this, just like you see on your iPod, whatever you listen to us from. Find us on IG, and all our links are there. We are on YouTube, Spotify, iHeart, Apple, all your favorite streaming places. A subscribe, like goes a long way. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you, AJ. We'll see you again. We have to do this again. Thank you, Melanie. Adios. Let's do our favorite, we're holding a flute or something.
I'm holding an apple.
Oh, an apple, yeah. I'll hold a diamond.
There you go, Callie. Bye, everyone.
Bye.